police officers let them into the Capitol on video. They overcharged them, and there are many people that deserve to be pardoned. If you attacked a police officer, if you broke through...
Manar disagrees. Manar, in YouTube chat, you just said you're taking such a huge L. What do you mean by that?
100%, man. I can't believe you're sitting here and actually defending and actually claiming that Trump is the one abusing his powers, and you're trying to bring up evidences of that. At the same time, they're literally arguing about the Biden situation. First of all, why are you going to the Trump? Second of all, you're contradicting everything you said, because Biden already claimed that the DOJ was politically charged. So everything Trump ever said about the DOJ was 100% true.
Okay, we need to slow things down. There's a lot to unpack there. Can you get into specifics?
Yeah, let's dive a little bit deep into the specific. Let's talk about the Jack Smith investigation. Did it actually come up with any conspiracy theory, or was it a failed actual
Donald Trump, to my knowledge, was charged with conspiracy in the Jack Smith case for the January 6th stuff. Yes.
Well, yeah, but there was no actual guilty pleading, and there was.
What does that mean? Who gives a fuck? Donald Trump didn't plead guilty.
You charged him. Let me explain why it's important. Because you've done this before. You've been charging him all over Fulton County. You've charged him all over Georgia. Turns out on appeal and on actual. I
charged them.
Let me finish, please. On
my good sir, I am not a prosecutor. I have no influence on these matters.
So you didn't charge him?
No, I did Georgia? Not. I'm not a lawyer. I don't charge people.
Hello. Do you know what I mean by he got charged, and that means he had some investigation going against him, and he was getting lawfare in Georgia and Fulton County against Fannie Willis.
Well, what you call lawfare?
All of those are the same thing. There's all charges too. Do you agree?
Yes. Well, I don't know what you mean.
Okay, then you're looking really bad because you keep saying that these are charges that are. You keep claiming though he was charged. Well, who cares? We know that every single time he's been charged, it failed on appeal or it failed when requesting dismissal every single time. So these charges they're trumped up. They don't matter.
What do you mean they failed on appeal? What are you talking about?
You have to tell me he was guilty and he was found guilty and he was sentenced. Where did that ever happen?
Manhattan. He was found guilty of 34 counts of falsifying business records. The Florida case got thrown away. Many people.
Do you see how disgusting this is? Do you see how disgusting this is? So Hunter Biden.
How disgusting what is?
Hunter Biden. Let me explain. Hunter Biden goes and colludes with foreign governments. He goes and creates corruption cases.
Where's your evidence of this?
Can I ask you a question? If it's true that Joe Biden, let me explain how I know. If it's true that Joe Biden really cares about the gun charges and the actual question and the actual tax fraud, why did he pardon him up to 2014 when that wasn't the year that the tax fraud or the gun charges happened? I'll explain to you what year that was. That was the year he actually got on the board of Burisma, 2014.
You allege, first of all, you allege that he was colluding with foreign governments. What's your evidence of that?
My evidence is Hunter Biden was on the board of Burisma in 2014. He had no experience on that. At the same time that the vice president, Joe Biden, was the actual... was actually interfering in Poroshenko's the attorney general or the state prosecutor's case against Burisma, against all the energy companies.
Right. So you're alleging that Joe Biden corruptly influenced Ukraine to fire a prosecutor that was quote unquote Joe
Biden already admitted to it. He already admitted to it on video.
Yeah, he said I got that son of a bitch fired. Right.
$1 billion
shut up. Let's talk about Burisma for a second. So are you aware that our allies in the European Union, in the IMF, are you aware that Republicans in Congress supported the Obama administration's efforts to get that prosecutor fired, Shokin, because he was seen as corrupt and protecting corrupt business interests in Ukraine? So how do you explain the fact? Shut up! How do you explain the fact that the European Union and the IMF supported trying to oust Viktor Shokin? Were they all trying to protect Hunter Biden?
All right. No, I want you to actually admit
answer that question. Answer the question.
I will, but you have to admit that Joe Biden.
Answer the question. Do
you agree Joe Biden is the one that influenced?
Did the IMF and the EU, were they trying to protect Hunter Biden?
Obama, Joe
Answer the
Biden
question.
used
Answer the
Obama's
question.
power.
Answer the question. If you don't answer
Okay,
the question, I'm going to end this
something.
conversation. If you don't answer the question, I'm going to end this conversation. Was the IMF
Okay,
and the
yeah, Barack
EU?
Obama was protecting. Yes, he was protecting
No,
Hunter
no,
Biden.
no,
Yes.
no. The IMF and the EU, who supported.
Doesn't matter. The IMF and the EU didn't go after. Didn't actually. Wasn't actually the reason why these charges went up.
If you don't answer this question, I'm going to end the conversation. Was the IMF and the EU in on protecting Hunter Biden because they supported?
Okay, I will answer. What did the IMF and the EU do? Go ahead.
They supported Obama's efforts to put pressure on Ukraine to fire that prosecutor because they
That
saw
doesn't
that
defeat my argument.
you would have to believe that these massive institutions were also like in on the fix, right? Why did they support
Well, is
it?
it possible? Is it possible that they weren't in on the fix, but they actually had allegiance to the country that was in on the fix? You're not actually proving that. This is how you prove that there was no collusion.
So what about
Did Joe
Republicans in
Biden
Congress? What about
hold
Republicans?
out
What
$1 billion?
what about Republicans in Congress? Republicans in Congress at the
You won't
time.
let me speak? So I'm going to answer all your questions. Like you won't answer a single one of my questions?
Republicans in Congress.
So this is how you debate, Hutch? Is this how you debate?
Republicans
you
in
actually believe you're no
Congress.
good?
Okay, make your point. Go ahead.
Okay, will you allow me to speak? Okay, here it is. Give me 15 seconds. You can only prove that there's no collusion if you prove that Joe Biden did not hold up $1 billion of mandated aid to actual Congress accepted
why did he do
aid
that?
to, let me finish,
Why did he
to
do that?
actual Ukraine in order to hold off and to enforce that the Poroshenko, which is the actual state prosecutor, be fired. Did that happen or
No,
no?
that wasn't
That's how you
Poroshenko.
prove that
That
there
was
no
not
collusion.
Poroshenko. You have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. His name is Viktor Shokin. Poroshenko was
Oh,
the
yeah, Poroshenko is the
Poroshenko
one
was
that
the fucking
fired him, yeah.
president. He was not a prosecutor.
Yeah, he fired. Poroshenko fired the Shokin. Yes, the state prosecutor that was
there you
prosecuting
go.
Burisma
There
at
you
the
go.
time. Yes
All
or
right.
no?
Yeah, so these were congressionally approved funds, right? So the funds that were supposed to go to
and
Ukraine.
he actually held them, right? He held them in order and until the firing happened. Yes or no? According to his own
Yes, he
admission.
did.
Yes or no?
Yes, he did.
Okay,
Yes.
so this is literally the same crime that you guys claim that Trump was holding.
You dumb fucking. You are a
actual,
dumb fucking twat. is
Congressional
what-
aid.
You dumb fucking twat.
No, you're the piece of shit. You're
You're
not
a
going to talk to me
fucking
like this.
idiot.
I'm
Yes, I
embarrassing you
am.
right now.
Yes, I am.
Because your only claim
Yes,
that
I
there's
am.
no
You're a
collusion
fucking
is the
idiot.
IMF agreed
You
with
have
it. This is
no
a trash
idea what you're
argument.
talking about.
You
have no
actually don't
fucking
know how to
idea.
debate, Touch. You don't know how to debate. I'm embarrassing you. I'm a small channel. I'm embarrassing you, bro.
So let me ask you.
Your
why did
literal
the,
argument is the IMF agreed with it. That's so there's no collusion.
not just
What the fuck are
not
you
just the
talking
IMF,
about?
not just the IMF, the IMF,
What's the trash
the entire EU. And how do you explain to me that Republicans in Congress? Listen to me real quick. This is a really important point. Okay, I promise you this is relevant. I'm gonna try
Go ahead.
I'm gonna try to be nice. In order to hold up those funds, Obama had to go to Republicans in Congress and explain to them what they were doing. They explained that the IMF, the EU, the Obama administration, they all considered this Shokin prosecutor corrupt.
You're a liar. I looked at the fact
No,
check.
I'm not
He
lying.
was, he was
I
actually
promise you can look this up.
corruption.
I promise you I'm right about this. Listen to me. So
No.
what Obama did, listen to me. What Obama did is he went to Congress at the time, which included Republican senators. And Obama told the senators, we want to hold up these funds to try to oust this prosecutor because this prosecutor is not doing enough to
gonna
prosecute.
embarrass-
Listen to me, please. I promise you I'm right. Okay. And the Republicans in Congress said, yes, we agree with this. So were they trying to protect Hunter Biden as well?
I'm going to embarrass you right now. So you're telling me right now, what is your evidence that Shokin was actually corrupt? Go ahead. You actually have no evidence because at the same time you're claiming he was corrupt. The only reason you're claiming he's corrupt is because he was going charging corrupt dealings of Burisma. You literally have no idea what you're talking
That's
about.
not what.
You're a
no,
liar. You're
no.
misinforming your people. Show me,
That's
give
not
me
what
the reason
happened.
why he's corrupt. Go ahead. Steelman your argument. Why was he corrupt? Go ahead. You have no actual proof. Look, guys, he doesn't have anything.
This was the consensus.
Okay, what's the consensus? Because of what? You actually don't know what you're talking about.
Take a breath. Take a breath.
But you're a liar. You're misinforming your people. And you're calling
Take a
names.
breath. Take a breath. The consensus.
You claim that he was corrupt. How do you know? What's your evidence to that? You have no evidence.
The international consensus and the consensus with Republicans in Congress was
What's the evidence? What happened? Why did they think that? What was he doing at that time? Who was he prosecuting corruptly? Who was he doing it to corruptly?
There was a widespread notion that Ukraine
He doesn't
was
know what
this.
he's talking about.
You got to let me speak, bro. You're worse than the people on Piers Morgan's panel.
Can you answer one of my questions? Because when I didn't answer
sure-
you threatened to kick
I
me out.
begin to answer the question, and then you just go, yeah, la, 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 la. So
Okay,
if you
go
want me
ahead.
to answer a question,
What
I can
was
answer the question.
Specific reason he's corrupt. Go ahead.
Okay. So the perception at the time of Ukraine was that it was a burgeoning democracy and it was still grappling with a corruption problem. There was a massive problem with oligarchs having a corrupt influence in government in Ukraine. FBI had attested to this. The international consensus amongst our international allies, as we were debating, like, how do we support this country in Ukraine, this democracy that we want to support, but is also like grappling with corruption problems in their own country. And so what they did was they used this $1 million in aid that was congressionally approved funds, and they in concert. It's not speculation. This is what happened.
You didn't provide evidence. You didn't provide evidence of the corruption.
First of all, your entire premise is that Joe Biden had full autonomy to go to Ukraine and just do whatever he wanted. You don't seem to understand that Joe Biden.
It was Hunter Biden that did that.
Joe Biden, when he went to Ukraine, he was doing so on behalf of
Your
Obama.
argument literally was international consensus. Hutch, you're looking really bad, bro, in front of all your 500 viewers. I'm a small channel, and I'm embarrassing you.
I promise you I'm not. The IMF, anybody can look this up. So are you live?
So
are you live right now?
argument that there was collusion
Are you
is
live
a
right now?
speculation.
Are you live right now?
I'm live right now, yes.
Okay, so I would encourage people in your chat and in my chat, look up the particulars of this event when Biden went to Ukraine and pressured Ukraine to fire this guy, Viktor Shokin. Look up what the IMF had to say about Viktor Shokin. Look up what the EU. Let me speak, bro. Look up what the EU had to say about Viktor Shokin, and look up the fact that Republicans in Congress supported the decision to put pressure on Ukraine to fire that prosecutor. In order for your theory to be correct, all of these international bodies and Republicans in Congress would all have to be in on this ploy to protect Hunter Biden. On top of that, there is no evidence. There is no evidence that Viktor Shokin was investigating Burisma, by the way. There's no evidence of this.
100%. Actually, I'll prove to you. 2014.
No, you can't.
With the
There's
year
no
he was
evidence
fired,
that he was investigating Burisma.
Please. Hutch, let me finish, please. He's lying to you guys. He's lying to you. He won't let me speak to actually perfect this misinformation bullshit. That the year Shokin was fired, he actually had not the year, the week before he was fired, or the week he did get fired, he had finally got approval to go and hold and start investigating Burisma Holdings and the actual oligarch. I forget his name. He had just gotten approval to start investigating him and actually hold on. Go look it up. You asked my viewers to go look up. Go, guys. Go look up the week of Shokin getting fired. He had just gotten approval to actually withhold a lot of the assets of this oligarch and a lot of the Burisma assets. Literally, that's what happened that week he was fired. You're lying. You're lying to the...
It's on the screen right now.
He was very successful in his case, actually.
This is on the screen right now. Anybody can look at it. Hold on. You guys can't even really read that. Yeah, you can right there. Okay.
Nothing's on the screen.
The firing of Viktor Shokin. This is a report from the House Committee on Oversight and Accountability. It was run by the Democrats at the time, but it was a bipartisan coalition of members of Congress who supported the ousting of Viktor Shokin. The firing of Viktor Shokin, this is from 2016, you dumb fuck. The firing of Viktor Shokin, Ukraine's corrupt prosecutor general, was the culmination of a years-long effort by a bipartisan international coalition to address and root out corruption in Ukraine. The removal of Shokin, who slow-walked efforts to fight corruption, only increased the likelihood that Burisma and its owner, Mykola Zaklarkovsky or whatever, would have been investigated. The false claim that Vice President Biden called for Shokin's firing to help his son was created and perpetuated by Rudy Giuliani. Anybody can just like look up. I promise you, like people in your audience, Google IMF EU Viktor Shokin, and you will find plenty of documentary evidence. Don't listen to me. Google it yourself. You will find plenty of documentary evidence that this was an international coalition of people that wanted this prosecutor fired. It had nothing to do with Hunter Biden.
I find it funny the comment section is saying I'm getting cooked while you're getting stressed and you're literally sweating. Okay, anyways. So guys, I asked him, remember what the question earlier was? I said, why you claim... You claim that Shokin was corrupt. What was the actual evidence? Never once did he provide any evidence. Every time he goes to another shot or another clip, or he shows you guys
Anybody
any PDF
who's
files,
in this,
it literally
anybody
is just a consensus. There's
Anybody-
no actual evidence, and he's lying
There
to you.
is,
He's lying
there
to you.
is.
He told you
Okay.
Shokin wasn't prosecuting Burisma. He was so successful. He had just claimed the assets of the the actual co-founder of Burisma. He's a liar.
Okay, so anybody who's in this dumb fucking idiot Manar's chat.
I want to understand, why is he
No,
corrupt?
let me speak. Let me
You
speak.
still
I want to
didn't
speak to.
explain.
I want to speak to your.
Besides the
I want to speak
consensus-
to your chat right now. Okay.
ahead,
Anybody
go ahead.
who is dumb enough to be listening to this fucking idiot in their chat, I want you to just Google IMF EU Victor Shokin, and just tell me what you find. Okay. He says there's no evidence.
Okay,
Go
we
ahead,
looked it up. It
Fact
says-
check me and fact check him. You will find.
Can I say what
You
I-
will find statements from the IMF testifying to this man's corruption, Victor Shokin. You will
Okay, show
find
it to me.
documents. You will find documents from the EU claiming that this guy is
Hutch, you're
corrupt.
lying to
You
your
will
people.
find support from Republicans in Congress
Lie
supporting
to your
this
people.
move.
Don't lie to my people.
I'm not.
Lie to your viewers. Don't lie
Anybody
to my
in your
viewers.
audience can Google this stuff right now and
No, you're a liar.
and they can find
because
what
I'm
they
asking
find.
you to provide the evidence, and you can't. You went to the IMF to say,
did,
"Oh,
and
look,
you-
there
I
was a
did, and you
bipartisan
fucking doubted it.
consensus
I did, and you
that he
doubted
was
it.
corrupt." I asked you, "Okay, what's the evidence he was corrupt?" And then you actually claimed that he wasn't even prosecuting Burisma, which is a fucking lie. You're a liar. Okay, go ahead and read the IMF report itself and say the evidence why he was actually corrupt. I'll tell you why he is corrupt according to the Democrats, because he's so successful at actually suing Burisma and the oligarch, the co-founder of Burisma, I forget his name. He was so successful, he had actually been able to capture his assets, and he forced that guy to leave the country, the oligarch, and that's why he was corrupt according to the Democrats, guys. He's corrupt according to the... this is why he will never ever
There's an
tell
article
you
on
the
my
evidence.
screen right now. There's an article on
He
my.
won't show you
there's
the
an-
evidence because he
it's
doesn't have
literally,
evidence.
it's literally on my screen right now. This is a demand from the IMF for Ukraine reform, which included ousting Victor Shokin. This is the IMF. It's on my screen right now.
Or what? Why was he corrupt?
This is the IMF demanding Ukrainian reform on corruption, which included ousting Victor Shokin. It's on my screen right now.
So suing and charging and being successful, charging the biggest energy company that could possibly be
There's no
the most
evidence that
corrupt
he was.
company in all
There's
of
no
Ukraine
evidence that he was
is
investigating
not
Burisma.
evidence of
There's
going
no
against
evidence
corruption.
of this. There's no evidence that he was
There's
investigating
no
Burisma.
evidence that Burisma is founded by an oligarch, Ukrainian oligarch that has
There's no
insane
evidence that
dealings
Victor
and has
Shokin was
corruption,
investigating
you know?
Burisma. If you want to look up EU statement on Victor Shokin, let me put this on my screen. You just accuse me of not having any evidence. Okay, so let's find out. Okay.
That's crazy. So now you're gonna say that Victor Shokin wasn't successful. That's why he was fired. That's crazy. That's crazy.
You just
So
asked
was
me
he
to-
successful or
you
was he
just-
not
You
successful?
just asked me to show you evidence that these international bodies supported ousting Shokin, and I'm showing you, and you're just ignoring it because you're a fucking idiot.
Go ahead, show me.
So this is from the Wikipedia article right here. Shokin was formally dismissed in a parliamentary vote on 29 March 2016. The European Union praised Shokin's dismissal due to a lack of tangible results, you dumb fuck, of his
Holy
office's
shit, Shokin's-
investigations, and also because people in Shokin's office were themselves being investigated. Following his dismissal, Shokin went into retirement. So this is both the
Shokin's
IMF.
up
And
on a
do you want me to
court
look up?
order to
Okay, so
seize-
now I can look up the Republicans in Congress who supported Victor Shokin being ousted at the time. Okay.
Okay, look at this. Shokin's office won a court order to seize
Are you denying
Zloshinsky's
the things that I
property.
put on my
Can I
screen?
read?
Are you denying the things that I put on my screen? You asked me to show you evidence.
Can
I
I
showed
read
you evidence.
something? Can I read something? Shokin's office won a court order to seize Zloshinsky's
Are
property. This is
you
the
denying?
co-founder of
Are you
Burisma.
denying
On
that the
February
IMF?
2nd,
Are you
2016,
denying?
Can I
Okay.
read?
Okay.
Can I read this and then I'll tell you whatever you,
You
want?
just asked,
because,
but you asked me. You asked me to show you evidence of this thing, and I showed you the evidence, and now
what
you're
does
like,
it
oh, I
say?
didn't.
Shokin,
Republican senators,
Shokin-
here's an article from 2019. Republican senators echoed Biden in urging Ukrainian president to reform prosecutor general's office. You understand this?
Okay. So
you understand
can
this?
I-
It was a
can I-
bipartisan
Hutch,
effort
Hutch,
in Congress.
I
It
get
was
it. I'm
bipartisan.
destroying you, and you're getting really hurt. Just relax, okay? So let me respond to your claim. Can you go back? I want you to actually go back to that actual part and highlight it again, because it says that he was fired because he didn't bring results. Now I'm going to actually go against that claim, and I'm going to show you that he was bringing results. Look, it says here. Don't interrupt, please. I know you're going to interrupt because I'm winning. I'm destroying you, Hutch. Shokin's office won a court order to seize Zlochensky's property on February 2nd, 2016, the Kiev Post reported. At the time, Shokin was fired on March 29, purportedly due to his own corruption. So at the same time, the actual proof that you're saying that he had lack of results, the same time, it was that same month that he was fired, he had just won a huge court order to seize Zlochensky's property, which is the co-founder of Burisma. So the idea that what is it? Is he corrupt because he's going actual corrupt and he's actually charging corrupt oligarchs? Is he actually lacking of results while he's actually winning cases and seizing properties and assets of this co-founder and of the actual corrupt company? Or what is it? Or is it just because Hunter Biden and Joe Biden didn't like him? Which one is it? Because every time you make a claim, I'm destroying your claim. Is it the lack of results? Because there was no lack of results. He actually won the seizure, the actual complete case, and he was seizing more assets so he can create more documents and more investigations. Okay. So Hutch, which one is it? Is he actually corrupt, or because he actually dealt with one of the biggest corrupt companies in the world when you guys fired him, or is it that he had lack of results because he actually won that case? Which one is it?
So there was a 2016 letter from the Senate. There was a 2016 letter from the Senate Ukraine caucus. It was signed by Republican Senators Rob Portman, Mark Kirk, and Ron Johnson, praising the effort to oust Viktor Shokin. So the claim that I made earlier that you said wasn't true was that the EU, the IMF, and Senate Republicans all backed the play to try to oust Viktor Shokin. You said all of that was a lie. I've just shown you evidence that all three of these things are true. And this, to me, I let you speak, right? I let you speak, right? I let you speak for a little bit, right? Okay, so
sure.
So in order for your theory of why this guy was fired, Shokin, in order for that to be correct, you would necessarily need all of these massive international institutions, plus these senators, Republican senators. I guess they were all trying to protect Hunter Biden in your mind.
Can I actually make an argument for this? So when the Bureau of Labor Statistics came up with these botched numbers, and I actually decided not to believe them, and I actually created my own third-party investigation, was I a misinformation peddler, or was I the one on the side of the truth? Which one was I?
Where are you from, by the way?
I'm a Syrian. I'm a king of earth. I'm the Syrian, the master race. Continue.
I don't know I don't care about your third-party investigation.
Demolish anyone in the world. Never in my life did I meet a Syrian that's, on the par of anyone else. They're above average.
My dad could probably beat your dad up, though.
Your dad? Oh, well, yeah. How about me and you? How about? No, I don't think you can ever beat my dad.
First of all, 1v1 Rust. 1v1 Rust. Let's go. Intervention Rust. Let's go.
My dad's faster than yours.
Intervention Rust. Let's go.
Oh, man, my dad is so freaking fast. How tall is your dad?
6'5", bitch. How tall is your dad?
I mean, he's
why do you think I'm so? Why do you think I'm so tall?
How tall are you? How tall are you?
Why do you think I'm so tall and I have a dick like a sequoia, motherfucker? What's up?
How tall are you?
I'm 6'3". How tall are you?
Yeah, I'm 5'10", 5'11".
Yeah, bro. That's what I thought.
I'd still get you, bro. Unless you can sit on me, I'd still get you.
I'll wrap you up like a spider, bro. I got long limbs. I'll fuck you up.
Man, the problem is I lived with a 6'3" my whole life. That was my older brother, so be careful. Well, how much do you weigh? 170, 160?
199, but I'm trying to lose weight, okay? Because it all went to my stomach.
You might actually. My brother is 6'2", and he's like 150. It's crazy. He's really.
What were the other points you were trying to make about how Donald Trump is great and Biden sucks?
So Viktor Shokin.
Let's just move past that because I don't think we're going to agree on this. Yeah.
That's fine. I just don't believe you can actually prove corruption, but let's move on.
Okay.
Because it seems like he was actually fighting corruption. Anyways, let's move on. I think Destiny and all the Democrats are kind of hypocritical in order. Do you hate Biden? I actually really believe that all the Democrats really hate Biden because he forced you guys to change your whole narrative completely. Is that true or false?
I don't hate him. I'm frustrated with him right now, but I don't hate him. No.
Yeah, but it's almost like everything that the Democrats ever stood for, Biden completely demolished. The Democrats stood for the law and order.
I don't know about that.
Well, Democrats stood for law and order. The Biden apparently is above law and order. The Democrats stood for.
Do
I
you
guess,
support? I mean, what?
democracy.
Because, are you talking about the pardon? Okay, so like, do you support Donald Trump pardoning Roger Stone, for example?
Yeah. So look. Actually, I think the authority of the president to pardon is absolute and it's complete. So it's unquestionable.
Including,
like nobody
including
can defeat
Biden?
him. Yes, you're right. It's
Okay.
actually and it's not actually
Next topic, I suppose.
unconstitutional. It's not unconstitutional.
Okay.
Now, so it's actually
I agree.
completely legal
I agree, by
for
the
him
way.
to do that.
I
Okay,
agree. The
so idea
president, the
that
president
Roche-
has broad pardon authority. I'm just saying, if
It's
you're going
insane. It's insane. I was looking into it. Even Biden today, if he wants to stop the pardon, he can't.
you
So-
might be right about that. I'm not sure, but I'm just saying, like, if you have a problem with Biden's pardon, then I would be curious to see, like, how do you feel about Trump pardoning, Jeanine Pirro's husband for tax evasion?
So let me explain to you. So it seems to be because the presidents were very weary because they do have absolute power. You agree with me? I mean, that's absolute
Yes.
power. They can pardon anyone.
Pretty much, yeah. There's a question
It
of
seems-
like if they can pardon themselves, but yeah, they can
Exactly.
pardon anyone. Yeah.
Well, the Supreme Court kind of dealt with that question because they don't need to,
I don't
as
think
long as
they
they
did.
can claim it's official proceedings. They don't need a pardon,
No,
right?
they
They're
didn't.
immune.
They didn't address that question. That's an open question. If he can pardon
Well, my
himself.
understanding is that's why the Democrats were mad was the Supreme Court actually gave complete immunity to any presidential
issue.
procedures.
No, he doesn't get absolute immunity. It's not absolute immunity. You can still be criminally charged after the fact.
Outside of
Yeah.
official procedures.
Yeah, but there's a question about like what is considered official procedures or whatever, or official acts. And so like there's some
Yeah.
things that fall in official acts and there's others that don't. And so
Okay.
it's not.
So it seems okay, perfect. So but this is affordable to the president. I mean, he's always going to be targeted. I mean, we've seen the assassination attempts. I mean, he's the number one person in all of the America. So if we just allow people to prosecute him left and right, I mean, he's going to never go to sleep. So
Well, those
I get why
prosecutions
that
are
exists,
over.
okay?
Those are over. All those cases are going to go away. So
I'm just, yeah, I know. In general, we have to give immunity to these presidents because if not, they will be prosecuted till forever.
do you
So
think,
it
for
makes sense
example,
to-
let's use the example that the lawyers on the Dem side made when it comes to immunity. So entertain a hypothetical for me. So if Donald Trump ordered SEAL Team 6 to murder his political opponent the day before an election, do you think he should have immunity for that?
No, 100% no.
Okay, so there should be limits then, right?
100%, you're right. There should be limits. Now, the problem is, even if me and you agree on them, maybe the lawyers won't. So it's going to be a very hard conversation for me to dive into with you, right?
Well, what was the other point? You wanted to make these other points about how like what
Well, no. It's not about immunity. It's about the pardon. So let's continue with the pardon. So
Okay.
get away from the immunity a little bit. So the pardon. So you agree with me? It's absolute power. It's absolute. It's insane authority. So it seems like what happened throughout history that even though these presidents had absolute power to pardon all of their family members, every single human being they've ever met, seems like they've committed extreme discretion when coming up with these pardonings. It's extreme. They either, like Trump had to give good reasons for every single pardon, and he just didn't
What was
go
his good
willy-nilly.
reason?
Now he did do a lot
What-
of pardons. You're right. He did
what-
do more pardons than Biden.
What was his good reason to pardon Charles Kushner, Jared Kushner's dad? Who
No,
was
no.
con-
So here, my
who was
argument
convicted
is
of
because the
who was
authority is so
convicted
strong.
of who was convicted of witness tampering, tax evasion, conspiracy.
I get it.
Why?
I get it.
What's the good reason then?
I'm not gonna know. It's probably a personal conviction. And maybe he believed the evidence wasn't clear. I don't know what it is. Maybe he believed
Or
he
maybe
served
he
the
just gave
time
pardons to people he
necessary and he
likes.
doesn't want him to serve
or
anymore.
maybe
I
he
don't
just,
know.
or maybe he gave pardons to people that he likes, right?
Sure,
Maybe?
sure. Yeah, I
Maybe?
believe that. Yeah, but do you believe? Do you agree with me that even though he pardoned 100 plus, he still, because the authority is so overwhelmingly powerful, he actually still went to the pardons with discretion because he could have pardoned 1 million plus, right?
What is this logic? Sure. Yes.
Come on.
It could have been worse.
Play with me a little bit.
He could have pardoned
Play
a
with me a
million
little-
people. That's true, I guess.
Okay, so here's the thing. So my argument is, if it's such strong authority, seems like every president before Biden took extreme discretion and care when committing to that authority and creating precedent with that authority, except for some reason Biden. Biden unprecedentedly creates a complete general pardon extending almost 11-year period for any crimes against the United States of America. or any collusion against the United States of America. Unprecedented. Unprecedented. Show me one other part in the history of the world, of all of America, that looked like this. So the idea that Joe Biden was okay with using his authoritarian absolute power to go and create an unprecedented change in the.
Roger Stone,
now
Paul
he created the
Manafort.
precedent for Trump.
Roger Stone,
terrifying.
Paul Manafort. Donald Trump pardoned 2 people that were criminally involved in his enterprises.
So
he
it seems like
didn't
those were.
pardon them because he thought the cases were wrong. He just gave them pardons.
I know, but you agree with me. Look, if he just pardoned, look, you have to understand what the argument is. If me and you, we would have never talked if he just said, I'm pardoning. There's the DOJ is prosecuting my son unfairly, which is crazy that he did that because he just destroyed all claims the Democrats had that their DOJ was not unfairly prosecuting Trump.
To you, let's see what happens with Attorney General Pam Bondi and FBI Director Kash Patel. We'll have a conversation about corrupt DOJ influence in a year, and we'll see how that holds up. Okay.
But you have to agree with me. The DOJ is holding on a lot of evidence, and they're not prosecuting Hunter, and that seems to be.
I don't agree with you. It was good talking with you. We'll do it again sometime. Okay.
One more second. Please, Hutch, one more second. Let me prove it.
If
So
you
if
were
the
doing
authority
things
of the
like that,
president
you
is
absolutely
overwhelming
deserve
and
to be in
so
jail for that.
powerful,
And it goes back
me and
to
you, we
an
would have
idea.
never had a
You
problem
look
with
at
the
each
pardon if
case
it was for the gun
individually,
charge,
and
or
you
if it was
decide
for a
based on
single
each case individually
transactional felony
before you
or
do
tax
a
evasion.
pardon.
I would have.
That's what I'm in
of
favor
course,
of.
what the
It's
fuck?
not
He
insane to
needs
say
pardon
I
his
would
son,
want to look at
but the
each
idea that he
case
created
to
an
see what they actually did compared to
general
what the
pardon
government
and
lied
created a
and
new
said they
precedent
did.
that
There's
Trump
a
could have
big
used.
difference.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
very
Hang on,
scared.
please. I'm going to bring in Lindy Lee.
Is it on your beeper?
Hang on.